Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you the best farming methods in Splatoon Raiders from the early game, late game, post game to get yourself Spiralite, gems, gadget parts, Primo weapons, as well as relics and everything that you need to know about doing this. Now the nice thing about this is that throughout the entire game there's going to be different areas for you to farm. I would recommend getting your way up to level 15 first because that's really when the first real farm comes into the game with the Splatoon Den here. Now what's great about this is it does have multiple versions. You can do it at level 15, level 25, as well as level 55. Now the reason this one's so good is because it is a quick farm, and because of that it's not going to give us our greatest results just because of how simple it is. There are ones that as you get later in the game are just that much better. This is the super spicy version, so you can see literally as soon as you hit level 50 this will be no problem. You can literally just clear this with your eyes shut if you wanted to, but it is a really easy method in the early game as well when you don't really have that many other options. This one will just give you the random chest here, so you can get a bunch of different items. You get Spiralite, you can get parts for upgrades, but it only takes really a minute to clear, so you can get yourself around 500 Spiralite here, as well as typically a couple weapons. Not that great. After that though, we can come a bit south here. Now this you may have heard of the Awlmun Den here. You can skip the entire mission. So the trick is we got to make it to the other end over there. So what we're going to be doing is actually using a little trick with the bot. Now I want to teach you guys this because the bot actually can use this whenever you're fighting against mobs to give yourself a very large advantage here. So call the bot over, jump on top, do the bot jump, call it again, and you'll get an additional jump. Now using the jump bombs here and the fly wire, we can actually just get in and just destroy this immediately. Now this isn't my favorite method because it is just doing this on repeat over and over again. May not be for you, but it is a very quick one. And this will get you some different loot, but you can get upwards of a 10,000 Spiralite as well. This is mostly just good for how quick it is, but it is a bit monotonous if you've done it a number of times. But nonetheless, you can do this really early on, so if you just need to grab a few different items for an upgrade, this is a good one just to do quickly because it's going to be the fastest possible. But I also want to give a quick special mention to the Splatoon Den here. This one at level 25 is incredible because all the enemies jump into the center, so you can literally just set down any type of gadget that's going to do damage in an area, like the torque screw. I like jump bombs with freeze on them, but all three levels of this will be a very quick farm as well. And it's a bit more active because you're taking out enemies despite them being really easy. But for a decent like late to mid game farm, you can just grab the chocolate iceberg here. Any of these Spiralite missions are going to be some of the best because they obviously give you a lot as you're drilling it. So you can go with the earlier game ones, but for my playthrough, I found this one to be a bit more reliable till we get later on with the Bagel Beach. Now this is great because it's a level 35 one, so it's going to help out with clearing the game because it gives a lot of rewards. But you can also do this super spicy one, level 80, literally like level like 50 plus 10, or even just level 50 if you have good enough gear. But the thing is with this one, it is the smallest map for doing these. So you're going to see here, you're going to get a ton of enemies. Now the seasoned enemies will end up giving you a bit more loot, so you can actually just destroy this one quickly with a particular setup, which I'll cover in just a moment before we get to the end game content to go over different builds here. But you see this here, it's actually a pretty crazy one just due to the mass number of enemies that you get popping up here. And again, there's going to be a lot of seasoned ones, so you can do a pretty good amount of damage to a large group of targets, and they're all going to give you drops. So you can get a lot of stuff here, and obviously the eggs here are just going to be insane. So if you have any builds that will focus around exploding those eggs, you can do some pretty crazy damage here. But you see we're getting a few different items. We got a couple different gadget parts there. So yeah, the nice thing about this entire farm, you can see all the crystals literally right here. So again, this one is all about speed. So as soon as you get to the late game, you're going to have your builds figured out, but I'll show you guys this one in just a sec. Well, that gave us 300 Spiralite there for the very first one, and then the final one is going to give you around like 1600. So yeah, you get a lot. There's also the balloons here you can quickly pop for a little bit more, but you're basically just going to do this loop here. This is just really good because obviously it's one of the late game ones, but they made it worthwhile doing. And I would recommend Fry's ult here just because or Fry Showstopper, just because it has a huge area of effect and you're not held up by using it. I do like Shivers, but I find hers better for dealing with certain enemies, which we'll get to when we go to the late game fights, because there is a couple enemies that are just weak to it. Now, whenever you see the red crystals, I would highly recommend approaching them because sometimes you're going to get an anomaly called Goldie, which is going to give you a ton of extra Spiralite here. Now, what's cool about this is Goldie is from a previous Splatoon Raiders, or Splatoon game, Splatoon 2 and 3. So making it a very good thing to look out for. Any of these red ones, they are a bit more challenging, so they keep you on your toes. I was not paying full attention there, and I'm getting sniped out. So yeah, these will challenge you because sometimes you do get anomalies that are a little bit more challenging, but they are always worth going after, just especially if you're doing like super spicy, because the rewards end up being well worth the effort. But yeah, these do give you a ton of loot, as well as obviously Spiralite. So yeah, that one only takes a few minutes to do. 4 weapons, as well as a 10 total amount of gadget parts. And we got a lot of upgrade parts as well. 5k Spiralite, so just you can run this one as many times as possible. And another nice thing is you can keep doing the different crystal nodes to get yourself even further amounts of weapons. That is, until we make it to the depths. Now, there are a variety of different levels that you can get here. Some are easier than others. But once you make it to the post game and you clear the different aisles, we're going to be coming down to the bottomless buffet. Now, there are a variety of different stages here. Some are going to be quicker to clear than others, which after running these many times, I actually really like to go with the floor 4 to 6 here. Now, you can run any of the first 2 ones here. These are going to be your best farms for Primo weapons. The drops don't change a massive amount between going further until you get to around level 100-ish. Going beyond it, I don't fully recommend, as you do have slower clear times, and the loot has not been that much better. But honestly, 4 to 6. It's just one of the absolute best. It is going to be faster clears, especially if you got more maxed out weapons than going deeper into the depths. But I would also recommend going into the depths really far, especially if you made it to like the number 100. I would recommend doing all the way up to 100. And then once you get there, it's more so like a fun thing, because the drops obviously are going to be good, but they're not as good as doing one of these lower levels here if you're looking for a particular Primo style weapon, because you're going to end up getting it here or you're going to get it there. Both will apply. So yeah, doing floor 4, 5, and 6, in my opinion, is one of the best in the early sections of the bottomless buffet. But any of these early level ones, if you prefer, like I also like to go with floor 10 to 12. I like this layout here as well, but it's just really between these 3 here. They just end up being, or these 4, the first 4 end up being one of the best choices if you're looking for weapons. Funny enough, they like to make the last ones in the game some of the best farms. Floor 97 to 99 comes with 2 guaranteed big arms, which obviously are great because they drop a lot of stuff. But this one ends up being one of the best for Spiralite gems as well. So if you're doing any type of late game farming, I would recommend doing this one or one of the first 4 different levels of the bottomless buffet. If you want, you can continue past to level 100, but this one just ends up being by far the best in my opinion. It's going to give you the most amount of loot, and it only takes a couple minutes to clear the entire thing. So that's the nice thing about this. The trick to the first floor of this, though, is clearing these big armored guys as quickly as possible, because they're going to give you 3 each, and there'll be 2 of them really early on. And again, the best thing about level 100 here is getting the double boss here is going to give 5 mega eggs, as well as drop a ton of loot. And you're pretty much guaranteed to get a 5-star gadget part. This is also a really great farm for getting the gems as well. But in my opinion, the build that works best for this method, I really like to go with a blaster here with the icebreaker and freeze combination, as you're able to take out enemies really quickly, as icebreaker does 5 times the damage, and on a heavy hitting weapon like the blaster, this actually makes Shiver really good because this allows you to aim it and freeze targets. However, I really do like just the quick fire and forget method of Fry's showstopper there. We are using the speed tank here, and I like the jump bombs, but if you prefer dash bombs, can work as well, and use a flywire like Spider-Man to get yourself down to the eggs so that you can clear these levels as quickly as possible. And you want to have both of these with a damage boost as high as you can possibly get it, but even if you don't have anything super high, still great. I also like to have the jump bomb with the freeze for 100% guaranteed freeze, as well as getting a damage surge off on your flywire here. I only have 50%, but even 100% obviously being a lot better. And you can also run with the airborne damage up, but I just found it to not be as effective. Tank ability activation, as well as double trouble. And I'm using the following relics here as my choice. I do like the gadget recovery fly, since we'll be in the air often with this setup, and I'll be posting in the pinned comment the in-depth build guide for this. But yeah, many different ways to farm from the early game all the way through to the late game, and what's great about this is the depths is actually pretty fun. You can go deeper in the depths if you get bored of any of these farms, just to give yourself something new to look at, and they are randomized once you get past level 100, so you can then go ahead with that as well, try to get even deeper. But in my opinion, the final level there with the double strong arms is just the best choice overall. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, hit the subscribe button below if you enjoyed. We'll catch you all in the next video.